I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I hope it's even a little better after watching this tutorial, because today we're going to be making a perfect projectile bullet system. So let me explain it a little bit. This is what the end result will look like. We have a accuracy system where if you don't fire for a bit, your bullets are perfectly accurate. Then if you keep firing, it gets less accurate, and also the bullets don't do anything until they physically collide with an object. For example, these cubes are enemies, and you can see nothing happens until they actually reach it. If you like this tutorial, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm releasing my first multiplayer loot and shoot game in closed beta this month. The trailer will be dropping later on this channel too. It uses the shooting system from this tutorial, so I think you guys will really enjoy it. To start off, a little bit of background work is required. So first, we have to make boundaries around whatever your map is that have colliders on them. If you don't do this, when your bullet doesn't hit something with a collider, or you shoot it nothing with a collider, there won't be any bullet. It just won't instantiate because we need a raycast to be able to hit a collider as we shoot. The other thing you need to do is head over to the asset store and go ahead and search standard assets and download this pack. It has the first person controller if your version of Unity didn't come with it. And then we also need to go ahead and search particles and get the Unity default particle pack. Get these and you'll be able to follow along with this tutorial and do it looking nice. You don't have to use the particles, but we all like particles. For the rest of our little scene here, I just added a large cube, and this one is not tagged with anything, and then added 4 small cubes and tagged them with enemy. You're going to need to make 3 scripts. To make a script, you just right click anywhere in the bottom part of Unity and go ahead and press C# script, and then you can name it what you want. In this case we'll do gun because that's going to be our gun script. Alright, today instead of actually typing out the code, we're just going to do a code review. I'll have links to the code in description, but if you want to learn what's actually happening, follow along and I'll teach you a little bit of what we're doing today. So first, let's go over the variables in our gun script. These are cooldown speed and fire rate. Those are pretty simple. They control how fast the gun fires and when it can fire. Then we have our recoil cooldown and accuracy. Recoil cooldown is a countdown from when we last fired. If enough time passes, then we reset our accuracy to perfectly accurate. Next we have our angle stuff. This makes it so our gun isn't accurate every shot, and the higher our accuracy number is, the more sporadic these angles will be. Then we have the really simple stuff, which is our bullet that we instantiate when we shoot, our point where the bullet actually shoots from, and our audio source and our audio clip. Now in our update function, we are increasing our cooldown speed every frame so that after a certain amount of time passes, we can check for fire 1 button, which is left mouse, and we also increase our accuracy while we fire so it becomes less accurate. And then if our cooldown is low enough, then we go ahead and shoot, play our audio, make sure our cooldown speed is reset so it has to wait that time again, and make our recoil cooldown back to high so our inaccuracy stays. Then if we're not shooting, we go ahead and mess with our recoil cooldown, and if it's been long enough since our last shot, we completely reset our accuracy to be perfectly accurate again. Now for our shoot function, every time we fire, we go ahead and make a raycast, and then we need the accuracy directions and how we're going to make that. To do that, we make a new quaternion and we start it by using the camera's forward position, which this script is on the camera, so transform.forward just means the forward of the camera. And then we go ahead and make our spread, which is a random number between 0, our max spread angle, and it chooses the number by how low our accuracy is and the time until we have our least accurate shot. So our fire rotation then takes that new number, and we choose a random point between a random rotation and our new current spread number. Then we go ahead and take our raycast, and we say if we hit anything, we're going to go ahead and make a bullet, and it's going to be at these variables we said earlier, the shoot point, and there's our bullet from earlier, and we go ahead and give the bullet its position, which is our hit dot point of the raycast. Now we can move on to our bullet. So the only thing we've given our bullet so far is the hit dot point. But in our bullet, we have a few variables. We have that hit point, we have our dirt for if we hit something that isn't an enemy, our blood if we hit an enemy, and then we have our bullet speed. So in our start function has the reason we needed the hit point, and that's because we calculate this by putting it between our hit point and the position of the bullet, and then we move it forward to that position by our speed variable. So if we don't have that hit point, we can make the bullet go forward or in a certain direction we want, but we want a very specific direction based off of our hit point from the gun. And then the only other thing we have in here, when we collide with the collider, we go ahead and check if it's an enemy. If it is, we minus some health from that enemy. We instantiate our particle effect, which is our blood in this case. We attach the blood to the enemy so that when he dies, the blood goes away with him, and we destroy the bullet. And if it's not an enemy, we go ahead and instantiate our dirt effect and destroy the bullet. And then you don't have to have this here, but I like to have it just in case something goes wrong. We destroy the bullet no matter what. And for our last script, extremely simple. Just have one variable, our health, and if our health drops below 0, then we go ahead and destroy this object. Now we need to go ahead and find our first person controller. Go ahead and put that in our scene. And we need to go to the camera on him and put our gun script on the camera. Now let's go ahead and fill in all the variables we made. So the higher fire rate on this, actually the slower it shoots, I found 6-ish is a good number for an assault rifle. So we want our recoil cooldown on the max spread angle we can do somewhere between like 1 and 3 usually works well. Let's do 3 and then 10 for time to max spread. And then let's go ahead and actually make our bullet right now. So let's create effect line, and we're going to go ahead and mess with the line render. So if you want to make a line thicker, because right now you can see it looks kind of like a 2D object, go ahead and add some end cap vertices. We'll put 6, and we'll go ahead and shorten this a little bit. Go ahead and change that to 0.5 instead of 1, and we'll change the color up here. Okay. Then the first beginning color we'll make a yellowish orange, and we'll leave white as the second color. That looks pretty good. And then we can go ahead and go back here, close up our line, and put our, it was our move bullet on that one. And then go ahead and drag that into our inspector. And go back here, we can delete that other line. Now we need to do our health. I already have it on these guys, but just make a few cubes. Make sure you change their tag to enemy, and go ahead and put our health script on and change current health to 100. Now back to our player camera. Go ahead and put your line that you made as the bullet. We need to add a shoot point, which we can, we'll go ahead and make him a little gun actually. So let's add a cube and go ahead and show our game view. Bring this forward a bit. Do 0.1 and 0.1 for the size. Then drag it into a bit better place. Okay, that looks kind of like a gun, sure. Then go ahead and make a empty on this, and let's go 1. And go ahead and remove the box slider on this also, so our bullets don't collide with it. And then we can go back here, do our shoot point as that extra object we made on the cube. And then for audio source, don't play on awake, can put a rifle sound. I just downloaded a random copyright free rifle sound. You can find anything on Google, just go ahead and search copyright free gunshot, something like that. Then go ahead and put the audio source here and that clip there. And that should be everything for that. That should be everything actually. So let's test. Alright. Oh, something's wrong. Our speed on our bullet is still 0. Okay, so let's go back to our line. Go ahead and change speed to somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 for a fast moving bullet works pretty well. You want these things to fly really quick. And we actually need to add our collider to the bullet. Almost forgot that also. So let's go ahead and slap a box collider on our bullet, as well as a rigid body. change the detection type to continuous dynamic, and that should be everything. Let's check. Yep, now that's working right. I forgot one last thing. We also need to add our particle effects, so let's go ahead and search blood after we downloaded that pack, and blood spray in our blood spot. Let's search wood, I think has it. Yeah, bullet impact wood will work. And that is our dirt object. So let's go ahead and play. And now you can see as we hit the ground, it collides with a little explosion. And when we shoot a player, it hits them and hurts them. So that's everything working correct. Our accuracy looks good. And I think we can call that good there. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys like the code and expand on it more, make it your own. And we'll talk to you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.